Well, that was left, but whatever. Welcome back to the SLC. Today we're going to go over curvilinear running. Most field sport athletes, like lacrosse, their sport is mainly ran in a curvilinear fashion. Very rarely is it just a straight line, and even if it isn't a straight line, eventually they're going to have to evade and dodge an opponent, or be able to stop and push an opponent and push them out to the alley. And so the curve is always going to happen a majority of the time. And so we want to make sure that our body is prepared to be able to handle the curves or the running or the demands of what the sport is going to bring. So we're going to go over curvilinear running today. You can see behind me I have some cones set up. I have some red, blue, and yellow cones, and then maybe off in the distance you might be able to see some blue ones. So one of the biggest factors of starting curvilinear running is going to get the body adapted and adjusted, ready to be able to handle demands of that. And so with that, you want to start in a smaller radius or smaller circle to be able to introduce the new loads and demands that are going to be placed onto your body. So with most modern day fields, I'm at a high school here, we have women's lacrosse, we have men's lacrosse, we have soccer, we have football, we have all that kind of stuff. And so all the lines are already put out for me. Did I need to put the cones out? No, but it at least gives you a visual representation of what it is that I'm looking for. So right now, the red cones are giving me the crease line of the women's and men's field. Here in the state of Utah, our men and women play on the same crease and same field size. So depending on where you're at in the country or the world, you might have a women's crease behind the men's crease. But for us, it's all one, and so it makes it pretty easy. And then outside of that, we have the women's lines. We have the 8-meter and the 12-meter lines that we can use. But if you don't have lacrosse lines, you can always use the penalty arc of the soccer field, and then you can also use the center circle of the soccer field, and those will also be good indicators of where you can use for your curvilinear running if you don't have cones and you can't set things up. When first setting up the sprints for curvilinear running, the size of the circle will play a factor for me into programming it. I want a smaller circle at first because I won't be able to gain as much speed. I can learn how to navigate running around the corners, going from to my left or to my right, and I can start feeling the demands of what that curve is going to place on my body. From there, I can start spreading out the size of the circle or semicircle, depending on what you're wanting to do and how far you're looking to run. You can use a full circle, or you can even cut the circle in half and go a semicircle. And then if you spread that out and you make that bigger, right, then I can gain more speed. I can put more forces on the body because I'm going to have to really lean into that and try to get my body over on the outside of my center of mass. So when you're first starting out, just make sure that you are starting out with a smaller circle. You can even go semicircle and then build. You can even go quarter circle, semicircle. You can go 3/4 of a circle, and then you can go full circle. It's totally up to you on what you want to do, but easing into the overall development of running curvilinear is, I would say, start with a quarter to a semicircle, get the basis down of how it feels and how you're going to have to lean into the circle or that curve. And then from there, you can add more distance by going from a quarter to a half. And if you wanted to go from a half to a 3/4 and then 3/4 to a full, just make sure that when you are doing this, you want to make sure that the demands are even on the body. And so we want to make sure that if I am running 3 to my left, I want to make sure that I'm also running 3 to my right. Some things to note when you're doing these curvilinear runs is that that inside leg, it's going to be on the ground longer. It's going to help stabilize your body. You're going to use a lot of adductor, so that inside groin area. So if you have any kind of tweak to that, or if it's not feeling the greatest, you might want to hold off or ease into how much speed you're giving that. where the outside leg is going to be that propulsive one. It's going to be pushing you through that curve, and you're going to be using a lot more adductor and bicep femoris. So if you do also have maybe a little bit of a hamstring issue as well, those would be something to be mindful of while you are running these curvilinear runs, or if you're going to start programming these runs. Make sure that you have that taken care of, and you're seeking a provider that can help you with that and getting those ready to go to be able to handle the demands of what the sprint is going to bring to you. Now, as we advance through the curvilinear running, I would say the last stage, or the final one to where we can start pushing some speed and really get into it, is going to be more of an S run. S run is still curvilinear, but now you're able to put different curves into the same sprint, and you can extend it out to however long you need, 20, 30, 40 yards. The great thing about American fields is we have numbers placed on the field here that I can use those. I set up the cones to show you that you can still use that, and the cones are on the outside and inside of the numbers going through. So if you don't have numbers that are set up, usually we can just pick a center spot on a field, and then I can go and take cones all the way down at 10, 15, 20, 30, however long you want, meters or yards, up to you. And then off of that, I can take cones and I can take them out 1, 2, maybe 2.5 meters at the most, yards at the most. And so I can either go out from that center cone 2.5 yards, 2.5 yards, or if I need to, I can bring them in closer to work on a tighter curve. But you can set this up on your own if you don't have a field that allows you with these numbers that you can just run on them. And then you can challenge yourself. Sometimes if they are out too wide, it's going to be too hard of a cut to try to get there within 10 yards. And so they are 10 yards apart from each other. So you just kind of have to mess with your overall skill development, how much speed you have, and how much curvature you can handle while getting into the sprint. Just because I said I love lacrosse doesn't mean I'm good at it. Coach me up. Well, that was left, but whatever. It did go in. Just to let you know. Right now, these are the type of things as you get those curvilinear running. I'm using the penalty arc of the soccer field to use that as I'm coming across and shooting. Yeah, I should be better at, once I actually shoot, my momentum should be taking me to the cage. Not at as steep of an angle. These are some of the things you can work on, and you're getting into curvilinear running, right? Maybe you're so far away from season that you're just working on getting your body adapted to hitting angles, turning out, and then eventually you start adding some lacrosse skills to that so that you can start getting ready for season, prepping for your game, and getting better at it. Let's try to finish around cage.